Forgot your last name. I'm so sorry, Chris. But Kaylin is our Director of Recruitment and Admissions, and they are going to talk to you about the admissions process and how to get started and all of that good stuff. Just a couple of notes. We will be recording this session, and we are streaming it live on social media. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat box, and we will answer them as they come in. If nothing else, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Kaylin.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're so excited that you're joining us this afternoon for our session on admissions and next steps. So where to start and how to get there. Like Jenny said, my name is Kaylin Asif. I am the Director of Recruitment and Admissions at Davidson-Davie Community College, and excited to share with you this afternoon. I do have experience at both the four-year public and private, as well as the community college. So happy to answer any questions that you might have about the admission process in general. And I am joined by Chris Majette. So go ahead and let him introduce himself, and then we'll get started with what we're going to talk about today. And it looks like he may have dropped off, actually. So I'll go ahead and get started.
My apologies.
Oh, there you go, Chris. Go for it. If you want to introduce yourself, Chris.
Oh, okay. My name is Christopher Majette. I am a college admissions specialist as of February of last year. Primarily, I used to be a lead instructor at the Thomasville Education Center, where I taught GED classes. And now you can find us at the Enrollment Center in the Mendenhall building. So please come and visit us.
Great. Thank you. So I wanted to start off by talking a little bit about just the community college in general. So why choose to attend a community college? There are a number of wonderful reasons to choose. So I selected a few that we can talk about. For starters, staying close to home. So especially in light of COVID-19 and everything that's going on, having an option close to home is a really great way to still progress in your education, but still have the comfort of being close to home. Community colleges are known for having flexible schedules. So with that comes academic flexibility. So there are opportunities for you to take courses throughout the day, like a traditional college schedule, or evening opportunities or weekend opportunities. In addition, there are a lot of different campuses that community colleges offer. So not just within the North Carolina system itself, but thinking about our community college having both a Davidson and a Davie campus. So there are lots of flexibility with where you actually take the courses within the community college. Being able to have a school life balance. So whether you are still working while you're attending college, attending community college with that academic flexibility gives you that opportunity for better school life balance. And then also the opportunity to pursue a lot of online coursework. So whether it's hybrid or whether fully online, there are more abundant opportunities traditionally at community colleges for the online options. In addition, if you're interested in the STEM field, career fields, or earning certificates, community colleges have an array of opportunities for you to pursue any of those areas and really strong in those areas. In addition, if you have your sights set on attending a four-year institution following the community college, whether you attend a semester at the community college or attend and complete your associate degree, there are lots of transfer agreements and articulation agreements that community colleges have with especially the state system schools to make sure that you're able to transfer those credits in successfully and be on your pathway to completing a four-year bachelor degree. There are still a number of traditional campus elements that some people don't always equate and think about when attending a community college. So Chris, I know, is going to talk a little bit more about this a little bit further into the presentation, but thinking about personalized attention, so the ability to have one-on-one communications with faculty members, mentors, advisors within the community, and then also student life. So there's still a number of student life opportunities at community colleges and at Davidson-Davie specifically. And then the big component that I know is on a number of your minds, especially it's the number one factor that students are considering when they're choosing their college of choice, is the affordability factor. So the lower tuition cost, students are still financial aid eligible for attending community college. But as you can see on the next slide, that I have, money really matters, and there's a significant cost difference with attending a community college versus maybe a four-year institution. Here's a breakdown of cost for tuition and fees for 2 years at, it says DCCC, so that's our former branding, we need to update, but Davidson-Davie Community College versus some of the other more local or state four-year institutions. So there's a big cost difference and cost savings with starting your journey at Davidson-Davie Community College or attending Davidson-Davie Community College, as opposed to going to these other institutions for 2 years. So that transfer opportunity can be a really great opportunity. To give you an idea of student debt, and this was shared by one of my colleagues, it was a great resource shared recently. The current student debt in the United States is $1.7 trillion. So $1 trillion is a tough number to wrap your head around. It's 1,000 times more than 1 billion and 1 million times more than 1 million. So if you had $1 trillion bills and you were to stack them up, your tower would be about 68,000 miles tall, which would get you about a third of the way to the moon. So that is the reality of student debt right now. And so if you are somebody that is really cost conscious and that affordability and paying for college is a priority for you in your college search, the community college route is a really great way to go. And Davidson-Davie provides you the opportunities to pursue and excel in your education at a fraction of the cost. So we'll go ahead and turn it over to Chris.
So why Davidson-Davie? Of all the colleges and universities in North Carolina, why us? Well, our faculty and staff are very friendly and dedicating to assisting students. We've actually hit a point where wherever a student comes to us with a tricky problem, we call it a Scooby-Doo mystery. And we just keep working at that problem until we resolve it. Now, admittedly, we probably enjoy that a bit more than we should, but what can we say? We love a good mystery, and we love making sure that our students are taken care of. That is our #1 priority. Next is class sizes. Now, at the community college level, your classes are typically smaller than a university, and smaller class sizes means that you're going to get more attention from your teachers, and thus you're going to get more from your education. Workforce development is also embedded into our curriculum. So not only are you going to learn about a new skill, you're going to be practicing it as well. We have a variety of different clubs and organizations at our college. We encourage students to be active and involved on campus. So we have organizations such as our Student Government Association and several other clubs that you can be a part of. We have exceptional international initiatives. We call them passport events, but they consist of international education information sessions, global scholar presentations, world chats, and international discussions. We also have our study abroad program, which is essentially what it sounds like. This year, we plan on going to France, Ireland, and South Africa. And next year, we're planning for Japan and England. Now, please know that because of COVID-19, no travel plans are set in stone, but this is what we're planning. We also have incredible support services at our college, such as TRIO and Single Stop. Now, TRIO consists of 3 different programs: Outward Bound, Talent Search, and Student Support Services. But the goal of all 3 is to enhance the academic development of students, to assist with their academic progress, and to keep them motivated to make sure they successfully complete whatever educational goals they have. Next is Single Stop. And these are programs that students can use if they need help with issues that aren't necessarily academic related. Single Stop can offer free legal advice, housing assistance, counseling, and much more. Currently, right now, they're helping us file our taxes for free. So as far as getting enrolled at the college, your next step is going to be to complete the online application. This can be done by going straight to our website, davidsondavie.edu or davidsoncccc.edu. After that, you're going to complete your residency determination status. We're going to dig a bit deeper into that later on. Next, you're going to want to complete your FAFSA, which is your free application for federal student aid. Kaylin's going to touch on that in a little bit. You're going to send us any transcripts that you have. Now, high school transcripts, they don't need to be official. College transcripts, however, they need to be official, and under no circumstances will we accept an unofficial college transcript. So if you're given a transcript, don't open it until you get to us, and we'll take care of it. You're also going to want to attend enrollment information session, which we're going to touch on in a bit. And afterwards, you'll need to do your orientation.
Great. So just so you have an idea of what it's going to look like, when you head over to our website, davidson-davie.edu, in this kind of upper right-hand corner, there's an Apply Now button that will take you directly to the application, or you can locate the steps to apply under the admissions section here, and you can see the different steps needed to complete the application process. So the first step, like Chris mentioned, was complete the application for admission. However, there are some requirements for residency determination that kind of weed into that. So Chris will talk about that in a moment, but I'll start with the online application. So you can either apply by going to davidson-davie.edu/apply now or through CFNC. CFNC is the College Foundation of North Carolina, which I hope many of you are aware of. It's a great resource for students, but you can complete the application, and that's the location where you would complete the application for admission to Davidson-Davie. The application is pretty straightforward. Some of the information is actually pulled from your CFNC profile already if you already have an established profile with them. It's going to ask for basic and biographical information, the start term and intended program of interest that you'd like to come in for, a little bit about your education history, so both about your high school and if you've taken any other college credits. And then it is going to ask about your residency determination. So Chris will go into further detail about that process here shortly. Like Chris mentioned, as a component of your application, we do want to see those transcripts. So unofficial high school transcripts are fine, but official college transcripts are needed in order for us to evaluate and determine if any of your previous college credit will come in and count toward credit at Davidson-Davie. You also might need to take assessments, and that will be determined and communicated with you via our testing center, whether or not you need to take a RISE assessment. And that really is dependent on when you graduated from high school. If you graduated from high school within the past 10 years, we will determine your placement into your general education, math and English classes based on your high school GPA. However, if you graduated over 10 years, there is another process for placement, and the testing center does a wonderful job working with you and making sure that you have a nice, easy transition into Davidson-Davie community colleges. So just to give you an idea, so the process that we are talking about really is for our kind of traditional students, our general college students. There are some programs such as our continuing education, special credit, special criteria, and our international students that have slightly different application steps. So if you fall into one of these categories or are interested in one of these areas, I really would recommend that you visit the website. Under admissions, there's information about all of these different programs, the criteria for admission, and the steps required. Or you can always email us at admissions@davidsoncccc.edu to learn more. So the question is, when do you apply? So when in doubt, ask admissions. So that's something that I will always say. We're happy to answer your questions. You can email us, you can call us. But I do recommend, we do have our spring 2021 second 8 weeks application still available, but that term starts March 15th. And for anybody that you're looking at the start dates of terms, which Chris will mention later in the presentation, I would give yourself at least 2 weeks of a buffer to apply so that you can complete the rest of the process successfully. There are some steps after you apply and after you're admitted. We are open enrollment. So presumably if you apply and if there's no issues on your application, you will be admitted to the college and be able to continue with your next steps. However, there are things like FAFSA, which we'll discuss, the Residency Determination Service, which we'll discuss, that can sometimes delay the process for you to complete. And so just want to make sure that you give yourself enough of a buffer to submit your application with enough time to complete the rest of these steps. There are, however, some specific deadlines for some of our special criteria competitive programs. So the ADN and P&E program, for example, Those deadlines have passed for the fall 2021 cohort. Our surgical technology program, the deadlines also passed for that. Our LPN to ADN deadline is coming up, so February 26, 2021, and the information packet with information containing all of your checklist items and requirements for that is available on our website. Our ribbon program deadline is 3/5/2021. Again, the information packet with all requirements and highlights is on our website for that as well. And then the Zoo and Aquarium Science deadline is 4/16/2021. And the information packet is available on our website for that as well. So you can see the link for any of our special criteria programs. So check that out if any of those areas interest you. And you can see how to go about those application processes. Summer 2021 and fall 2021 applications are live as well. So if you are interested in joining us for summer term or for fall 2021 terms, you can go ahead and submit your application. In fact, we're getting ready to launch our spring 2021 applications soon as well. So we work almost a year in advance. So if you are interested in joining us, we'd love to have you sooner rather than later. But just to give you an idea of timing. And Chris.
So next is residency determination services. This is actually the final part of your application, and it's going to be the thing that determines whether you're eligible for in-state tuition or out-of-state tuition prices. Now, this is done through CFNC, just like your application. And if you went to high school in North Carolina, I'm willing to bet half my paycheck that you already have a CFNC account. So when you get to the screen, it's going to ask you to log in. You can just go to forgotten username and password and enter your email to get that information. And worst case scenario, we can call them. And by we, I mean you, because they're not going to talk to us. It's your account. So when you're doing your residency determination status, they're going to ask you a bunch of questions. And I mean, they are really going to get all up in your business. They're going to ask you about your living situation, when you moved to North Carolina, if you ever worked outside of North Carolina, your parents' information, etc. Now, please know that you have 25 days to complete this. And if you don't complete it within 25 days, well, you just have to start the process over again. Not the application process, but the residency process again, and you'll be considered out of state. So just please make sure you jump on that. For the most part, people who have lived in North Carolina for at least 1 year are eligible for in-state tuition. However, if when you finish and they tell you that you are not eligible for in-state tuition and you feel that it's an error, you can do something called a reconsideration. Once you hit that button, Residency Determination Services will ask you for specific documents, and you can either fax it to them or you can upload it straight to their webpage. Now, it's very important that US students stay on top of this. Whenever there's a change, you need to let us know, because the last thing you want to do is end up paying triple the price when you feel that you should be in state. And this can be done by sending an email to residencystatus@davidsoncccc.edu. I know that's not on the screen right now, but you can also send it to the admissions inbox, and one of us will see it and we'll get it taken care of for you.
Great. And
you have
going back
in the chat box.
Sure.
And this is, are you allowed gifted homeschooling students to take 9th and 10th, to take classes that are in 9th and 10th grade? Do you want me to answer that one?
Yeah, if you want to go ahead, we do allow high school students on campus, but Jenny, you have further details about eligibility, so go for it.
So that program is our Career and College Promise program. And Anissa Wall is actually the director of that program, so she can talk to you a little bit more in detail. There are opportunities for 9th and 10th graders. However, your opportunities expand in the 11th grade. So if you want more information on that, I'll just go ahead and put my email address in the chat box. Or actually, I think this was the Facebook Live question. So I'll also tell you my email is Jenny, JENNY _Ferguson, FERGUSON @davidsoncccc.edu. And you can email me and I'll be happy to send some more information to you.
Awesome. Thank you. So after residency determination system, we want to know where that money is so that we can help support you on your journey to making sure that your college is an affordable option for you. So you can't receive financial aid if you don't fill out your FAFSA. I repeat, you cannot receive financial aid if you don't fill out your FAFSA. And so we do need you to complete your FAFSA. As Christopher said, the FAFSA stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid, and it determines your eligibility for financial aid. So financial aid is comprised of three components. So grants, loans, and scholarships. So grants are the free money distributed to help pay for your college. This includes the federal grant of the Pell Grant, which is based on income. There are also loans. So student loans are money that you have to pay back, but that the government awards you to help pay for college. But remember, you have to pay it back. And then scholarships, money awarded often for academic or personal talents, academic ability, identity, work history, etc. There are a number of different wonderful websites for you to check out. I've listed 3 of them here: cfnc.org, which you've heard and familiar with, collegeboard.org, and then fastweb.com. It's really important to note that you should never have to pay to see if you're eligible for a scholarship. Never give money to see if you're eligible for a scholarship, because that's a scam. So there are a number of really wonderful websites to help see if you can qualify for a number of scholarships. There are some on fastweb.com, for example, for students that have brown eyes, for students that like to dance, for students that drink Pepsi. I mean, there are some random ones, and then there are some really specific ones, students that aspire to be an engineer. So head to that website. The more information that you can supply on these scholarship applications, the more the scholarships are going to be tailored to you as an individual. But always beneficial to get some scholarships. And our financial aid office does a really great job, and I know that they're going to host another one of these in the future, so you can get some more detailed information about the FAFSA process. But much like the RDS, the Residency Determination Service process, it is pretty extensive to complete the FAFSA. You need a lot of information with you. If you have a parent or guardian, they might be helpful in the process, because they'll require information from them as well for you to submit. So we're here for you to help you through this process, and we have an entire office and department to help you complete the FAFSA and answer any questions that you might have about it.
Okay, so when you apply to the college, and you're going to, shortly after you apply to the college, you're going to receive a welcome packet in the mail or an email. And it might tell you that you have to complete something called an enrollment information session. Now, this is nothing to worry about. In fact, most students have to do it, and it's only going to take you about an hour and a half. Now, we call it an EIS. And the first thing you need to know is that it's done completely online. So when you get the email and you click on the link to do your EIS, it's going to have you make an appointment. That's okay. Because it's done online, the date and time that you choose does not matter. I tell every student that you can choose 5 years out. That's fine. You're still going to get started within the next 5 minutes. So, in fact, once you make your appointment, check the email that you registered with, and you're going to have an email from something called My Calendar. That's going to have the link inside to begin your enrollment information session. Now, in the session, you're going to learn about the different programs of study that we have to offer, and you'll get to choose whatever you think is correct for you. You're also going to take a career assessment, and it's going to give you more information about your chosen field, such as the education required, the amount of money you're going to be making, the job outlook, meaning will there be a job for you later on. You're also going to learn about the campus and how to navigate your financial aid through StormTrack. Another thing you need to know is that your enrollment information is not the same thing as your orientation. Those are 2 separate things, and you have to do both. And after you finish your EIS, I'm actually going to add another step here. Please, 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 please make sure that your StormTrack email is set up. Because when the career counselors talk to you, they're going to contact you through your StormTrack email. So please, pretty please, set that up. It is very important, because that is our primary use of communication. After you finish their enrollment information session, they will send you that email. It will have your orientation link. You're going to use the same username and login that you use for your EIS for your orientation, and then you're going to have it completed. The one thing I will say is they're going to give you these things called badges of completion. Please make sure you have completed all of your badges of completion. Advising will send you back down to do it again if you do not. Now, the last step of your orientation is to meet with an advisor. Once you speak with your advisor, you'll be able to let them know exactly what it is that you want to do, and they'll be more than happy to help you set up your classes and tell you the remaining steps. After that, you're able to start at the college. Now, we do have 3 priority dates. Our spring 2 semester is starting March 15th, and that is right around the corner. So just as Caleb said, you're going to want to give yourself a 2-week buffer. So if you start March 2nd, you might not start March 15th. So you might just, start in the summer. That's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We want to set you up for success, and we notice that students that kind of get rushed into this process really quick aren't the most successful. So we want you to take your time with this and make sure that you're good to go. You can also start in the summer, which begins June 7th. And you can also start at the fall 1 date, which is August 16th. So whenever you feel is the best time for you to start, you can go right ahead.
And that was all we had for our presentation. I know it was a kind of quick overview with a lot of information crammed in. So we do have our contact information available on this slide. So if you do have questions moving forward, feel free to reach out to any one of us, myself, Jenny, or Chris, or just for general information, the Storm Forward at davidsoncccc.edu. But I'd love to open it up for questions at this time. If you do have any questions, either in the chat or if people want to unmute themselves. Jenny?
Yep, if you want to unmute now, you are welcome to. Or if you have a question, just put it in the chat box and we'll read it out.
And I can't reiterate it enough. We have awesome teams at Davidson-Davie Community College to make sure that this transition process is as easy and smooth sailing as possible for you. I know that some of the information could seem a little bit daunting, but we don't want it to. So we want to make sure that you have the support in order to be successful, to achieve your goals and aspirations. And so if there's anything that we can do to help, please do not hesitate to reach out to either of us. And if it's not specific to admissions, if it's an academic question, we can get you that information. We want to make sure that we're a resource for you during this process.
And we do have one question just asking when that fall start date is, and that's August the 16th.
Yes.
So.
And we are operating for fall and spring semesters. There are 2 terms, so 2 8-week terms that we operate. So that's the first fall term. There's a second fall term as well, but the first term for fall begins August 16th.
All right, well, we will stay on for just a few more minutes to see if anyone else has any questions. But if you don't, we just want to thank you for coming and joining us today. I hope that you learned something, and we have these every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. So if you would like to get on the email list for that, feel free to email myself, Jenny Ferguson, or any of us, and we'll be happy to send you the link. So thank you for joining and have a wonderful day.
Yes, thank you for joining.